Hey, great Friday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Matt Cesar Mascoro Jr. in here late for our 15 minutes to master. But we're dealing with some things coming through, some things happening, and as they always do. And that's why we do the 15 minutes to master, right? Because sometimes we need it as well. And things happen, life happens, business happens, and you've got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep moving through. And I love the fact that we're considering what we're considering today, which is what to do when unplanned events happen, when bad things happen, when you run up against the wall, when you hit an obstacle. How do you overcome it, right? And so our quote for today actually comes from Mokokoma. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the last name. Increasing the state of our minds is the only way to reduce the difficulty of life. Life is hard. Business is even harder. I'm just telling you right now, man. Life is life, right? You're just going to go through it. But when you choose to put yourself into a situation like running a business, opening a business, now it's by choice. And that is even harder when difficulties hit, right? So increasing the state of our minds is the only way to reduce the difficulty of life. And it's the same thing for those of you that are on the sales floor, those of you that are on the front lines, whatever kind of sales you do, you're choosing to put yourself out there. You're choosing to put yourself in that situation. So it's even more difficult than dealing with the difficulties of life. So what exactly does it mean by increasing the state of our minds is the only way to deal with the difficulty of life? Well, I'm glad that you asked, because here's the situation. All right. Let me just tell you real quick. We all know that things happen in life. We all know that we're not going to be able to get away or get out of those things that happen, right? We're just going to have to deal with them. Everybody has those moments in life. We all run across them. We all run into them. And so we've got to all be able to find a way to push through. And so the important thing to realize is, how do we react in those moments? You're going to get punched. Sometimes you're going to get punched in the face. You're going to get punched in the gut, and you're going to react. You're going to fall back. You may even fall down. The thing is, you can't stay down. You can't just keep going backwards. At some point in time, and it's got to be sooner than later, you got to keep moving forward. You got to keep on the attack. You got to stay on the offensive, because with those people who just stay sulking, oh, poor me, oh, it's simply going to lead you down a deeper rabbit hole. Think about it when your deals start falling apart and you start freaking out, right? Your pipeline's falling apart. You're freaking out. You're just wondering what's going on and why is this happening and how can I stop it? And all these things. Why are these things happening to me? And so then what happens? You stop marketing. You stop making phone calls. You stop really giving the full effort when you're in with customers, because you're so worried about what's going on over here. And you start falling further down. And we can't allow ourselves to do that. I used to tell my staff all the time, hey, when they had rough days and they'd come in like, hey, I'm done. I quit. It's like, fine, you can quit, but you better be back here tomorrow. Right? You got to if you got to take that quitting time, you quit on yourself. Well, when you wake up the next day, you better be ready to go. And that's just the way it's got to go, both in life and in business. That's just the only way around it. There's no other way, because if you allow yourself to give up, if you allow yourself to stop, you're going to have regret. You're going to realize down the road, man, had I just stuck with it, I would have still pulled through. I would be at this point in my life, I would be further ahead had I not let that set me back, had I not let that knock me on my butt, had I not let that keep me on my butt. So then how is it that we can deal with these difficult times? Well, I love the fact that it says they're increasing our state of mind is the only way to deal with difficult times. So feeding your mind, getting stronger up here, mentally tough, and don't minimize when we say mental toughness. A lot of people think, well, it's just a brute type of mentality. No, Mental toughness is a trait, is a skill that will help you pull through. It's mental toughness means you understand the reality of the situation, but rather than letting that reality hold you back, you figure out, okay, how can I work around this? It still sucks. It still hurts. It still stings. It's still causing me problems, but how can I keep working? How can I keep moving forward? How can I keep my marketing going? How can I keep myself on the phones? How can I keep myself focused to be influential with my customers so I can start to keep or start to rebuild what I may have lost? That you do it by one, first and foremost, prayer. Hopefully, you've got some sort of spiritual relationship with God or whatever it is that you believe in. Okay. But you've got to have that spiritual side of you, something that will allow you to calm yourself down and get aligned with yourself so that you can keep moving forward. So that's first things, right? Is that relationship and getting yourself aligned with that. Second is you've got to start feeding your mind. And so you've got to start thinking this through. Okay. This setback, whatever it is, well, what can I do to overcome it? What can I do to counterbalance that? What kind of skills do I need to learn? What do I need to be able to make happen in order to outweigh that problem, that situation? Okay. Your deals are falling apart. Well, how can I get better with my marketing to get more leads that I can speak to? Right. And so being able to do that, because what happens with that, folks, here's what's going on. As you're learning these things, you get more confident because you actually, you don't feel the problem with most people when they hit a roadblock, when they hit a wall, they fail to keep learning to get better because they think that, man, I'm an adult and I should just be able to push through. I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Well, that same thing is what got you where you're at. So you've got to learn so that you can do something different to overcome that issue. So while you're learning, you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your soul, you're feeding your spirit. You feel more competent, and with competence comes confidence. And as you get more confident, you start feeling better about yourself. You're like, okay, I can push through. I can work through this. I just got to keep moving forward. I got to keep doing these things to be able to do it. So feeding your mind, learning, and it's got to be purposeful. It's got to be intentional. What are you trying to learn and why? And it's got to align with your purpose. So if your whole pipeline is falling apart, okay, you need to learn then, first figure out what was the root cause? Was I taking bad deals? Was I dealing with customers that just weren't willing to do the things that I needed to do? So the time passed and it just fell apart. Am I missing something on my budgets? What is it about those? And then learn those. Learn that. Keep moving forward. Don't stop until you learn it. Keep learning and growing and moving forward. But that action will keep you going, because I know for a fact that is the way it works. Those are the things I've had to do each and every time we've hit a roadblock in building this business, or we've had an obstacle, or we've had something that we run across that seems like it could be an issue. You just got to keep pushing forward. We'll figure it out. We're building this plane as we're flying, man. I read another quote somewhere that said you can't learn to drive in a parked car. You got to start driving, right? We got to start moving. So you do that, keep feeding yourself, keep growing, keep learning. And that way you can do what needs to be done. And you'll see yourself pulling forward one step at a time, one step at a time. We're going through that now. It's happening in our business with some things that we added Peyton, and you guys are going to meet Peyton very soon. We're all excited about her being on board, right? But then business over here, we've got to make some adjustments to grow. So it happens everywhere, man. We're right there with you. And we want to be your success partner when it comes to manufactured home sales. If you need help in getting better productivity, better revenue, better profits, that's what we're here for. And we do it in a way that's different than anybody else out there. Everybody else is just going to try and teach you how to get more leads and how to get more customers in the door. We're going to teach you how to be more effective, because it's all about empathy. It's all about purpose, and it's all about the neuroscience of sales. So you guys stick around, make it a great selling Saturday, and we are going to go and make this happen. You guys have a great Friday. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.